First of all, I want to thank all the elected leaders, everybody from the community that have come out to support us. It's been a long road, we've hung in there, so we want to say we appreciate you coming out and supporting us. That further tells us that what we're doing is the right thing, that what we're asking for is the right thing. After this is all over, I'll see a lot of you out on the streets doing what we do every day, coming to work and doing our job to the best of our abilities. That's what we deserve. We're asking for what we deserve, and what we should get is a fair and honest contract. That's what we asked for from the beginning. That's what we asked for last week. That's what we're asking for today. We're asking for what we deserve. We deserve to be treated fairly. We deserve to be treated with respect. We do a great job for this city. For the residents of Oakland, we come here every day and do the best that we can. And to be treated like this shows the disrespect that this administration has for the workers. I don't want to hear out of the mayor's mouth now one more time about how she respects the workers. Because she's showing us better than she can tell us. She's showing us exactly how she feels about us. So whenever we see the mayor again, remind her of this. When she says, oh, I appreciate you guys, and that's what she's saying on the news and on TV, how she appreciates us. And if you appreciate us, do the right thing by us. Let me say, this is some unprecedented times. And like Brother Gary said, let's not forget this. Let's not get what we're asking for and then go back into our corners and forget this. Let's not forget this day. Let's remember this, because we still have power. We have power at the voting booth. Let's use that power again. Just like we've shown up today, just like we've been showing up, let's show that at the voting booth next year. It's been an honor to be out here with you guys. It's something that I'll never forget, and it's something that we should never forget. Thank you.
Here are a few words of solidarity. Woo!
I see a lot of people that I've knocked on doors with, who we've done phone banking with. I see a lot of y'all, and I'm so proud and humbled to be here again today. I love y'all. So give yourself a hand. And for y'all to be out here during one of the most important times of the year for a lot of families, not getting paid, on strike, tells me a lot about your character. I wish I could say the same for our elected officials in Oakland right now. They say you know a tree by the fruit it bears, and the fruit that this city is bearing is rotten to the core. So we have to make sure that there continues to be worker solidarity with community solidarity. There is no separation. I said it when I was here last time with y'all. There is no separation between the city workers and community. When we were fighting for a fair budget with this last budget process where they changed the law in front of our faces, y'all stood with us and we stood with y'all together. We were here until close to 1 o'clock in the morning, right? And they had to change the law to pass that budget. We had over 200 people come to speak in support of a people's budget. They didn't have not one person came out to support the Conservative Caucus and the Mayor of Oakland on this garbage that they passed. But we brought full force and came back on the first day, and we stood with y'all when y'all shut it down. When y'all shut it down. And we will continue to stand in solidarity with SEIU 10-1 and all worker organizations who are doing the work of the city to make this a beautiful place for people to be. Because what they're trying to do right now is push us out. And I will say, damn that. Put that on the news. What we need is a general strike where we can get all people's organizations and individuals and neighbors and community members to get up and put on the colors of our unions and say, not today. What does my daughter say all the time? Not today, Satan. Not today. We built this city, we clean the city, we care for the city. We are being pushed out of our homes, of our schools, of our churches, when they're complaining on churches for making too much noise. This is an attack on working class people from every different arena, and not now. We have an election coming up, and we need to show force and show that this is our city, and we want something different.
That's right.
Libby Schaff, this is your notice that people are paying attention. We are awake, and we are not having it. So I will stand with you, ACE stands with you, and we'll continue to work to make sure that we have a city that we want to see. Thank you all for being out here today, and thank you for letting me speak.
Who were born and raised here in Oakland, who gave concessions to the city in 05, 06, 07. When I came in, we were taking furlough days, and they've never been made whole. Now they've all moved to Stockton, Oakley, Patterson, and they're commuting 3 and 4, 5 hours a day. Their whole quality of life has been changed over the last 8 years, and the city hasn't, at least brought them to average. And now they're offering 4%, which is no problem, because what we need is these temporary workers. They've been temporary 10, 12 years and more, and they're bringing in people over them. Like me, I was brought in as a leader from the outside, and there's guys that are here that are temporary that could have had the job, that know the job, that helped train me to do the job. And it's really a sad that they're doing such things. The temporary part-time workers deserve more. The ladies and men in the call center, they're working 12, 15, 16 hours a day. I was at 7101 Edgewater this morning, and they were all, coming out from work, and they were so tired. A lot of them had to have Ubers come because they can't even get any sleep, because by the time they leave the job, they've got 8 hours to get right back. And now I'm like, these are people that I work with now, but now they're they were born here, grandparents were here, now they're commuting 2 hours away and back each day. So what time do they get to even enjoy their families after 15-hour work?
They're stressed. People are stressed out.
People are stressed out. And, like I say, the money is menial in some cases, because we got a lot of people, like they said, that are like 10 or 15% below the grade of the cities around us. And I sure hope they get something. For what we're getting, I came in, like I said, as a lead man. There's whatever they give us. But we're halfway all right, but there's not many of us. The rest of the guys, like my sewer maintenance workers, they're like 9% below what they call it, the established
prevailing wage,
Well, yes, the prevailing wage in the area.
Is that cheap labor? They want cheap labor?
That's what it is. That's what they want. They want cheap labor, and they don't want to pay for what's really important. You know what I'm saying? The morality of these workers are all out here because of, just the moral dilemma that the city has placed us in. When you're at work,
Are you surprised this is going on as long as it has? I mean, there was some thought that if you went on strike, that Mayor Schaff and the council would negotiate and make a deal?
Well, me, myself, I probably wouldn't say that I wasn't expecting it. I see what's going on all over the country, that this is something, that had to be right now. I guess we're just living in a day and time where people are getting fed up with the norm.
I think there are a lot of fed up people in America.
Yes, and it's like, if the people don't band together, we spend more time with our coworkers than we do with our families. So it's like, when each of us hurt, we got soccer, we got coaches, we got everybody out here does their job. Then they're volunteering in the community. Like, I'm a youth mentor. I've been doing it for 9 years here in Oakland, and there's so many other things we contribute to the economy here. I'm looking at all the restaurants around here now. Right now, they would all be making some money because we'd be at work, and they would be able to make some money. This strike is affecting my mother's a senior. She uses the senior centers every day. She hasn't been able to go. There's her and all her friends, that have worked here, lived here, paid taxes here, that just aren't reaping any benefit, especially with us being on strike right now. The libraries and the museums, those are the things that they do every day. That whole senior population of Oakland. And my mom is active here in Oakland, and that's why she loves it, because they have so many things for seniors to do. But by striking like this, it cuts them right out of the pot.
Well, there's a lot of money coming to Oakland. Jack London Square, all these condos, and shipping. It's a big money-making port. Yeah. Why isn't that money going to the workers here?
That's what we keep wondering, you know what I mean? And me, being a sewer worker, I work in the sewer department. Man, we're in the hills every day. We're cutting through berry bushes. We're we're keeping this city flowing. We're keeping the mess flowing to the sewer plant. And right now, there's probably like 4, 5, 6 sewer issues, if not more, probably going on in this city because we haven't been at work. And I'm sure there's some sewage probably going places that it has no business. And the sooner we get to work, the sooner we can clean this up. But it's going to be bad, especially with the city being under a consent decree for the sewer department. Everybody in Oakland, every residence, every business has a sewer lateral tax that is paying for sewers that people voted in years ago, and that's millions of dollars. They're building new buildings. Every building has to pay a sewer tax.
Azaria.
What's going on here?
It's just really disappointing. We're here for the strike today because we love our jobs and we're really anxious to be able to get back to work and do them. And I don't know about everybody else here, but I know I am definitely willing to work for probably less than I deserve because I know that what I do is important and I care about the residents.
What kind of work do you do?
I work with housing. I work with housing resources and try to get people connected and help them find out other places to get help with that kind of thing. And the problem is, my caseload has doubled and tripled in the last year, and I'm happy to do it, but we can't draw other people in from outside who are also willing to work for less than fair standard wages, especially if they're not already here, because if they're coming here, they're hitting a higher cost of living, which means that they're going to need more on top of things. So.
The mayor says they don't have any money, but it seems like there are new apartments, Jack London Square. I mean, there are all these developments. I mean, isn't this going to increase the revenue in Oakland?
Seems like there's going to be a dramatic increase in revenue, and it just seems a little preemptive to say there's not enough when we really don't have enough information. We can all say that there's definitely going to be more revenue coming in. How much more, how it's allocated, those are things that really should be brought to the table instead of just immediately preemptively declaring an impasse.
And public workers seem to be under attack. Governor Brown wants to attack the pensions. They say our pensions are too much. And I mean, the cost of living is very difficult for people in the Bay Area. I mean, a lot of workers can't even afford to live here and they have to commute. What is the general situation here for city work?
It's pretty disappointing. During the Santa Rosa wildfires, we had to make some accommodations for employees who were displaced. So not only are they now homeless or struggling with in between homes, but we've had people who are commuting from Santa Rosa every single day and night to serve the residents here in Oakland. They've taken away our parking garage. We've had individuals who have physical disabilities who now have to walk several.
Why did they take away the parking?
The initial parking garage was seismically unsafe, so they wanted to keep it, make sure that it would always be safe. But the new parking garage, the cost to park there was a lot more than the other parking garage, and they weren't able to make any kind of reasonable accommodations for even some of my coworkers who are struggling with physical disabilities. So it just seems like a few small things could be really good for morale and keeping us back doing our jobs, which we love to do. Nobody comes and works for a government for the paycheck. Everybody comes here because they've always wanted to help. They've had servitude in their heart, and it's just disheartening and disappointing to see that might not be valued by our council and our mayor in the same.
Who are they? Who are they representing? I mean, they were elected by the people of Oakland. I mean, who are they?
I mean, I guess we got to look and see who the campaign donors were. I don't have enough to donate millions of dollars to a campaign. All I can do is give my time to the union and give my time to the residents in my professional work. So.
Were you prepared for the strike? Because a lot of people thought it would be short, that they'd come to their senses and would actually negotiate.
I definitely was not prepared for it to go as long as it did, and I started thinking that initially the timing seemed really well because it's around the holiday time for this to be negotiated really quickly to make it whole for the families. But the longer it goes on, the more I had to consider that council and mayor may make 2, 3, 4 times as much as I do. They might not be pressed as much as me and my family are for holiday funds, so they might not care if it continues on, although it's going to have a dramatic effect on my family and future.
And have there been support of other unions or other people supporting this strike?
Definitely. The unions are in collaboration on this. We've got Local 21 and we've got 1021. We've had a lot of support from even some of our council people off the record, and from a lot of the local businesses have donated. I know to 1021 they donated lunch today, and we're happy to do so. And so, yeah, we've gotten a lot of support from the local businesses and people passing by. They're giving us their beeps of support. The media's been...
You're not asking for the world.
No, we just
You should be, but you're not. You're basically asking just for a little bit more.
And it's really, that's another thing that's just a little confusing to me. I mean, I'm reading the public reports, and Libby Schaff is telling people that we're asking for, 8% this year, and that's actually not true at all. And so I don't know if the public is really getting a full sense of what's happening in the negotiations and what the sticking points are. But they have to understand that we're not trying to shirk our work. We really want to be able to come back and do our jobs, but we want to have the resources to be able to help people properly. And that's what the strike's about.
When we went on strike, you stayed out. And so, that's a really powerful solidarity. We're here with you again. And we're going to keep fighting because we're fighting for the same things, although I was so shocked when I heard that 50% of the city workers are being pushed into part-time, temporary jobs. Hotel workers in the hospitality industry or food service workers out at the airport would never stand for that shit. They would fight back. They would say these are full-time jobs. We're serving this community, right? We're taking care of this community and we deserve good jobs, raises, and self-sustaining workplace. So we're going to be with you until you win this strike.
Can you talk about over here?
All of us and all of you together in solidarity to make a difference. Right here.
So you say that this is not just a labor strike, it's a community strike. Why don't you introduce yourself and talk about that?
My name is Carol Fife. I am the director of the Oakland San Francisco Alliance for Californians for Community Empowerment, and we are a union of community members. So we are members who are coming together to fight for social, racial, and economic justice. And we have also had enough with the mayor who presents herself as a progressive, but is instituting very right-wing conservative policies that impact mostly poor people of color and particularly African Americans who are being hit especially hard by the housing crisis right now.
It seems like there's a lot of big developments going on in Oakland, a lot of money, condos. Who are they for? Are they for the people?
Of course not. The average median income of an Oakland resident hovers around $35,000 a year. And these condos, you have to make six figures in order to pay the rent. When I first moved to Oakland 20 years ago, my rent was $500 a month for a one bedroom. Now they're around $1,900, $2,000 a month. It's not for the people who live here. So for an Oakland native to express such deep concern and love for the community, these policies, these developments are not for the people who live here.
Gentrification is going on all over the Bay Area. A large number of working class people, Latino, African American, no longer. Do you think there's a racist tenor to what's going on here?
I definitely think there's a racial dynamic that is a part of this whole process. I think that's why the mayor finds places like the Islamic Cultural Center to have her State of the Union to feign an interest or concern about diversity, or finding other people of color groups to be the face to say, well, I have black support, I have Latino support, I have Muslim support, to try to create this image of diversity and her concern. But proof is really in the pudding. I mean, the city workers can't afford to live here. These are, if you look out at the sea of faces, these are people of color. They're predominantly people of color and working class people. So the racialized component to gentrification, it's a part of the redlining that happened, which was very much a part of Oakland politics. And, she's not doing nearly enough to respond to these dynamics.
In 1946 was the last general strike in Oakland. There was one in San Francisco in 1934. You raised the issue of a general strike here, uniting the community and workers. What do you mean by that?
What I would like to see in my dream world is for all of these people who are impacted. We've had thousands and thousands of people leave over the last few years. We need to unite the people who left. We need a call of action to bring them back, even if it's for one day, to say, this is what I left. I was pushed out. I didn't want to leave. for all the businesses who are being impacted, that are being pushed off, international mom and pop businesses, individuals who care about the state of this, was a working class city, to stand up and say, we are not standing for it. This is a revolutionary city. How do we keep it that way? And I would love to see a general strike. It was 1946, but wages started to become stagnant around 10 years after that. The working class wages for the people who are working here, I think we're headed back to the times where, I don't know, we may be.
Survival?
Exactly. Exactly. We're living in times that are very similar to the experiences my grandparents went through. So, and the policies that they're pushing are sending us right back. They're busting unions, right? This is a union busting tactic. Schools are becoming privatized. All of our public sector businesses are being privatized, or that's the intent. So so we don't have to revert back to that period of time. We need to do something drastic and immediate now and powerful. And the people is always where the power is.
They did a lot of the same tactics. They put us out on strike. They tried to badmouth it. They tried to say we weren't supposed to be doing that. They came at us with the same union busting tactics. We were able to stand up with your support, with the support of other unions. And when you go out on fight, everybody sees it. It's in the news. And at the end of our strike, at the end of each of our rallies, I would ask our members, when you folks came out for us, are we going to come out for you? And our members said yes, we would. And I asked them, since the whole world is watching, if we fall, everybody falls, and it's a hit to labor. Are we going to stand strong for all of labor? So what you're doing is in the news right now. Everybody sees it. And again, thank you very much for standing up for what is right. It affects everybody. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Calvin Howe with Local 21, and it's really great and an honor to be here with you all, standing in solidarity on day 7. All right. I just want us to make sure that we are not buying the crap that Libby is feeding everybody on the news. She's telling them that she deeply respects Oakland workers and that she deeply respects Oakland values. So, meanwhile, she's holding $1,600 a plate fundraising dinners for her re-election on the day of our first strike. Is that an Oakland value? Can you afford $1,600 to sit down with the mayor? Meanwhile, she's using scare tactics, as other brothers and sisters have mentioned, telling us that this is an illegal strike and that she's going to have to lay off 188 employees when there are over 300 vacancies. Is that an Oakland value? Is that respecting Oakland workers?